The Great Deduction. The game is afoot. Topic 1. Intruder's Identity. Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death is nothing to do with me. This whole thing is nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. Snap. And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So, we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? Why, naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded this vessel, was it not? Ah, as I suspected, another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. And yet, the fact leaves us in this quandary. Oh my God, Sholmes! The victim's written observations on the night in question tell of a speckled band, whereas regrettably... Sholmes, be careful, you're gonna get bitten! This specimen's marking does not fit that description in any way. What explanation can we then give, pray? What was this sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? Why did you take it out of your pocket? No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary even now, hidden behind your back. Yes, that which you are trying but failing to conceal can only be the snake's sloughed skin. Sloughed? How do you pronounce that? Evidently, after the subtle and horrible crime, this most deadly friend of yours shared its original skin. No? I don't know what you're talking about. Last night, through the ventilator visible cabin, your speckled friend slithered next door. Using the bell cord on the other side as a bridge, the serpent silently descended into the victim's quarters. In the dim light, it appeared to the young gentleman who was about to lose his life as a speckled band. In summary, the nature of this friend of yours, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a rare breed of snake whose markings change each time it sloughes its skin. A snake so dreadful, we can only imagine it would be found in the deepest depths of India. Also, that's really funny, because that's literally the plot of the Speckled Band story. Topic 2. How Mr. Asogi died. Moving on, we move to the heart of the matter. The grim demise of the victim. The grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life, and why? According to the data which I have been apprised, it would appear there were no visible signs of injury. How are my gasps, by the way? They're probably really bad, sorry. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by terrible venom. Now, if we take that as fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be? Yes, an examination of the deceased's body will prove the cause of death conclusively. Okay, dyslexia, not right now, but almost, not quite. Imperceptible puncture wounds left by the venomous fangs will seal the truth. Yes, the vestiges of the snake bite delivered by your terrifying friend. This makes no sense. There's no point feigning ignorance, Miss Pavlova. After the incident, you endeavored to hide everything, didn't you? But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you choose. That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case. Oh god, it's so scary when it moves like that. When we first met in this cabin, it came to my attention that your case moved periodically. Your serpent assassin was restless inside, no doubt. You don't. It is telling that the victim made note of a low whistling sound that he heard minutes before his end. That was your signal, was it not? The sound you had used to train your serpent friend. Train? Indeed. You'd put the serpent through this ventilator and wait. After a period, you'd summon it back with a whistle. You couldn't know if the animal had done its duty, so you would listen for signs of life next door. If the victim appeared not to have been dispatched, you'd release the snake once more. Do you deny the snake has undergone such training? It's not true. Having slid through the ventilator and down the bell cord, the creature needed only to sink its fangs in once. And its venom would course through the victim's veins, ending his existence forever. That is the true nature of this speckled band that took the poor young man's life. There can be no doubt. My logic is infallible. Conclusion. Death by a venomous snake's bite. Also, again, exactly what is word that concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of the speckled band. Miss Pavlova has trained her pet snake as a killing machine. There on the floor, you will observe a saucer of milk. The promise of food is the key to training any creature. Incredible. You've solved the mystery. Wait, Renosuke, why are you... What? Really? Amazing. Your great deduction really lives up to its name. I see now why Sherlock Holmes has become such a household name. My dear man, it was nothing remarkable. As the Russians say, I could have done it with one left hand. Susato sounds like you guys are full of shit. Could I venture an opinion, Mr. Holmes? But of course. What's on your mind? It's just about your deduction before. Some things don't quite make sense to me. I welcome questions as to my method, and will answer both loudly and proudly. Excuse. Sure. Oh, good. First of all, shit. She has. Oh my god. This is the kind of student you hate. Snakes are egg-laying creatures, part of the reptile family. You are well informed, madam. And reptiles, don't drink milk. It's really only mammals that like to drink milk, you see. So I'm not sure it would be possible to train a snake using milk as a reward. No matter. No doubt Miss Pavlova used some other treat to encourage her pet to do her bidding. Milk was merely an example. The logic holds. Well, there is something else. Snakes have no ears. Sorry, I can't resist the urge. Thank you. That is a reference to the Sir Skit meme. The Japanese Duff series. Anyway, sorry. So, I'm not really sure it would be possible to signal to a snake by whistling. But madam, what of the tales from Arabia? Have you not heard of the snakes that dance to the sounds of flute? I think perhaps the performers play their music in time with the snake's natural movements. Oh, I see. No hands, no feet, no ears! These creatures are so inept to be practically useless! Don't take it out on the snakes, Mr. Holmes. There is one other thing. You have more? Snakes use the scales on their bellies to propel themselves. So, I'm not really sure that a snake could manage to climb up a flat bellcord like the ones in these cabins. Then it should try harder! Please, don't be angry with me, Mr. Sholmes. Even if the snake had gone through the ventilator to the next door cabin, it couldn't have come back without help. What I'm trying to say is that there are a number of reasons why it's difficult to imagine the snake could have a part in this. Okay, too much ellipses. Out with it. I think we need to step in and help again, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, no, you don't mean. Yes, we need to modify Mr. Sholmes' latest deductions and turn them into the great ones they ought to be. I had a feeling that was coming. Alright, let's give it a try. Just what I was waiting for, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, right. So, cast your eyes down to your wrists again. What? You've done it again! Your handcuffs are gone! Where did they go? Fear not, I can see they're restored after our work is done. I really wish you'd leave them off. Now, everyone, let us begin. Sherlock Holmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular once again. Course correction. Hold it, Mrs. Sholmes. Ryota hasn't talked for a while. My throat's a little parched. I'm just gonna skip over this real quick. Sorry, I cut off before I could say real quick. Let's see. Okay, Mr. Sholmes said that it was her aching heart that smarts with pain. We don't think so. She does have a pained expression on her face. Yes, that's true. She looks as though Kazuma-sama's death is weighing heavily on her mind. But you're not sure Mr. Sholmes has read her quite correctly, is that it? Could there be some other way to interpret her expression, then? Let's take a moment and really look closely at Miss Pavlova. Her aching heart. Oh, dear. Yeah, youch. You should get that checked, lady. Oh, did they? Oh, no, they don't have the medicine for rabies yet, did they? Oopsie. Yes, when you recall this horrid event, that claw scratch smarts with pain. Indeed, and simple observation reveals that the wound is fresh. Miss Pavlova, did you in fact receive that sometime last night? When I think about the young man who died next door, I feel so sad. And when I'm sad, the pain from this wound is worse. And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So, we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the... This phrasing is weird, it kind of takes me back. Why, naturally, it was the friend which you had boarded this vessel, was it not? And she looks at the snake. It seems likely that the scratch mark at the back of Miss Pavlova's hand was made by this friend of hers, doesn't it? Except snakes don't have claws, do they? No, they don't. They don't even have hands or feet on which claws might grow. Sorry. Well then, if that snake isn't her pet, or what is? Or what's the true identity of this friend of hers? We should follow her gaze, Naruhodo-san. That's where we find the answer. Her gaze? I don't believe we actually see the pet, do. Oh, it's the frame, right? I forgot about that. Take that. Take that. Take that. What's keeping you, man? Are you making the autosave? Oh, they're thinking about it. Okay, there we go. Look at this photograph in this frame. This must be something Miss Pavlova brought with her when she ran away. So cute, look at the kitty. She's exceptionally beautiful, isn't she? I think that's true. But personally, it's the little black creature she's holding that caught my eye. And maybe we'd better take a closer look at this. Little kitten. Oh. Wait, sorry, I just realized. Is this why Wagahai had babies? Huh. Without a doubt, your friend is the little kitten we see before us. Yes, the scratch at the back of your hand makes that abundantly clear. Oh no. Oh no, sorry. I was dipping into Lucy Darling territory. The whereabouts of this black kitten isn't clear, but what is clear is that you brought the animal with you when you ran away, didn't you? Tarka is my best friend. I couldn't leave her behind. Darka appears to have been a Russian blue, and yet the fact leaves us with this quandary. The victim's shows. Could you stand back a little? That snake is gonna bite you, my guy. He's not even phased. What is this man made of? Is it the cocaine? This specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way. What explanation can we then give, pray? What was the sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? And then she takes it out of her hand. No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary even now, hidden behind your back. Yes, that of which you are trying, but failing to conceal, can only be a snake's soft skin. Did you see that? She just took something out of her pocket and hid it behind her back. If she just left it in her pocket, no one would have ever known. Exactly. Oh, yes, ploys like this are Mr. Shon's specialty. He's ever so cleverly forcing them to reveal something. I thought deduction was his specialty, or maybe making me believe that was a ploy too. Anyway, I find it hard to believe that that's the skin of a snake. In which case, just what is Miss Pavlova hiding behind her back? Yeah, sorry. I think I struggle with Ryunosuke doing the dance of deduction. I'm gonna have to workshop that later. Mostly because I am used to him being awkward in, like, court, but not when he's being confident in the dance of deduction, because I fear, like, he might sound like Shof. Well, it's speckled, and it's a band, but what is it? It seems to be soft and fluffy, a long piece of cloth of some sort, and that looks like a handle on one end. I think it may be a cat's toy. This sort is common in the West, apparently. How is this a toy for cats? Cats like to chase the band around and paw at it. Or, they'd say that weird. Kittens in particular love that sort of play. You only need to wave it in front of them, and they pounce to catch it. That sounds positively adorable. Yeah, Ryunosuke loves kitties. Confirmed. That's cute. Yes! Trying to get back into it, but it's really hard. This side of Ryunosuke is not something I've practiced. Yes, the thing you are trying, but failing to conceal is, a cat's toy. Precisely, and the true nature of that infamous speckled band. And it was this toy that you dangled through the ventilator. It looks so different in the picture than what she showed in the 3D model. You waved it around, I presume? Naturally, the victim could not fail to notice it. But why? For what reason? My dear boy, there can only be one answer to that. I'm hitting my limit. After a feline friend disappeared through the ventilator into the neighboring cabin, Miss Pavlova attempted to use the speckled cat's toy to incite the creature to return. In summary, the nature of this friend of Miss Pavlova's, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a blithesome Russian blue breed of cat by the name of Darka. I don't know why it sounded so breathless, I'm so sorry. A truly fearsome, troublesome feline young Darka is proving to be. She must be caged at once. You will forgive us for borrowing the photograph of your pet, Miss Pavlova. I don't think we ever get confirmation of them seeing it or finding it. It was after I gave her food last night. That's when it happened. She scratched the back of my hand and then ran to the bell cord. Before I could do anything, she had disappeared to the ventilator. Darka, she is so naughty. Conclusion. A beloved kitten. Did I say Darka? My notes say Dirka for some reason, but I don't know how you pronounce that. I'm just going with Darka. Moving on. Oh yeah, let's skip this one. What Mr. Sholmes says is true. Oh, switch, sorry. There were no signs of a wound anywhere on Kazuma-san's body. That's right. But Mr. Sholmes seems to be unaware of one very important detail. Kazuma wasn't poisoned. Yes, that would seem so. Let's give him the information he's missing now. Let's give him the autopsy. The updated autopsy report. Of post-mortem, sorry. Yes! Sorry. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by the post-mortem report. Ah, yes. I knew it was one way or the other. His neck was... Indeed. The breaking of the cervical vertebrae is fatal. Only that Goliath would be strong enough to survive that. Seaman Stroganoff isn't some immortal freak, you know. The jury is out. Anyway, we have a good... Yo, Sholmes! Don't you dare. Now, if we take that as fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. And he's gonna say that we have to examine the body. The body. Kazuma died because his neck was broken. In other words, he was probably struck by something or someone. Yes, there's a distinct possibility. As of yet, no weapon has been found, though. Presumably, Daga didn't silently creep up behind Kazuma and deal him a fatal blow. I suppose it's possible that he had a fall and hit the ground awkwardly. It could have been a terrible act of misfortune that he broke his neck completely by accident. It's just so sad. Oh, yes, a bad fall could explain it. It's rather hard to believe of Kazuma-sama, though. He wasn't a clumsy man. Well, we need to fix this deduction somehow. Is there anything from the scene that could explain what had happened? It's the nail polish, I believe. Yeah, because his shoe would have scraped the floor. That's a lot of nail polish. Shoe polish. Yes, an examination of the mark on the floor will prove the cause of death consecutively. This particular mark, so prominently visible next to the victim's body, is a deposit of shoe polish. Shoe polish? Indeed. Positively identified by a little analysis device I constructed, which I carry now as a matter of course. Beeswax, tallow, and dye were my results, the undeniable ingredients of shoe polish. Beeswax. That explains the shimmer. And the collar of the polish is a perfect match to the collar of Mr. Asogi's laced leather boots. Looking at this mark, it's not hard to imagine what happened. For some reason, Mr. Asogi must have caught his foot at that point of the floor and tripped. Really, really sad and unfortunate, Jesus. Please, no. And, by a dreadful turn of misfortune, caught his neck against some immovable object as he fell to the floor. Suffering a fatal blow to the spine, the victim's vertebrae shattered, and in that instant, he lost his life. No! I don't know anything about this. Is that really true, Miss Pavlova? What about the evidence left at the scene where Mr. Asogi lost his life? Yes, the fact is as clear as day as to me. You did all you could to conceal the incriminating evidence. But now you're involuntarily betrays the hiding place you choose. I'm getting tongue-tied. It's very late in the evening. I'm so sorry. That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case. I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama merely tripped over, and now he's no more? It can't be true. I refuse to accept it. I know it's hard to believe, but the mark on the floor does seem to suggest that's what happened. But... And if this part of Mr. Shom's deduction is right, and Miss Pavlova is trying to hide some evidence that would prove it. Here, in this cabin, somewhere in the direction that she just cast her eyes. I wonder... Let's have a good look around. The answer must be here somewhere. The answer... I don't know why I said it like that. Yeah, I think I should just wait for the text to display, and then I should just read faster, instead of, reading it as it plays, because I just stumble. This is a waste paper basket. Perhaps all the first-class caviar have them. I just said, nope, never mind. But Miss Pavlova only started occupying hers last night. Presumably, there's not much rubbish in there yet. Oh, what's that? It's a broken piece of glass, isn't it? Yes, it is. And I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. If it looks familiar, perhaps it's more than your mind simply playing tricks on you. Yes. Indeed. Verily. Wait, no Shakespeare yet, sorry. That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that waste paper basket. Here we have a fragment of some intricate glass object, it would seem. One that has a familiar air, in fact. Precisely. We found another piece of the broken glass on the floor in Mr. Asogi's cabin. And, as you can see, the two pieces fit perfectly together. Oh no. So, Miss Pavlova, shall we consider what this tells us? Why would it be that part of this glass object, which was evidently broken at the scene of the victim's death, should be found in the waste paper basket in your cabin? I can only scream so many variations. You're well acquainted with this glass spell, are you not? I don't know. I don't know in that hushed Russian accent of yours won't say you this time, dear girl. Why? Because we have conclusive evidence linking you to the bell in question. What? Take it away, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes. The evidence linking Miss Pavlova and the little glass bell would be... Look at this photograph! Every time it makes me kinda cry, not gonna lie. Probably does for her too. Yes! If you look at this photograph, you can clearly see, hanging from darkest collar, the very glass bell in question. The truth has caught up with you, Miss Pavlova. The young man who lost his life last night did so after a truly inauspicious fall. And the cause of that fateful stumble? Snap. Sorry, my right hand is your absent feline friend, Daka. I couldn't tell anyone. I'm sorry. Death by tripping over a cat. It's the lamest. Kazuma was like the coolest, right? And you give him such an uncool death. It's just so not fair. Couldn't you have, if he's gonna die, make him die for something? Why don't you tell us now, Miss Pavlova? Tell us exactly what happened last night. It was a little. Yeah. Wait, what? Hang on. Oh, wait, shit, sorry. We're gonna have to backtrack and cut this. Yeah. Oh, 30 minutes?